Hello world, my name is AJ. Welcome back to Gemini Studio, and in this video we're going to create a contact form. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to select this desktop frame. We are going to convert that into a stack by clicking this plus button. Now we're going to click on fill. We're going to change the color to black. All right, and now we are going to add a contact form. And so in order to add a contact form, you are going to select insert up here, come down here to forms and select this form up here. Once you do that, you're going to see it here on the side, and these right here are the colors that we are going to be using for this example, but feel free to select your own colors. I did this to save a little bit of time. So let's click on the form, bring it inside the new desktop stack, and now because it got pushed to the top, we're going to center it because this is a stack. Okay, so once you have a stack, you have certain options that you have to play around here on the right hand side in order to arrange things. So with the desktop selected, we are going to come here under layout, and we are going to select the distribution from start. We're going to select center. Now the form got pushed to the center. All right, just to keep things organized, let's add two more stacks. So right click on the forms and select add stack. Now we are going to change the height of that new stack to fill, and we're going to repeat the same operation. Click forms, right click, add a stack, change the height of that new stack to fill. And so what we have here now is the desktop stack, which is holding another stack. We're gonna name that new stack main container, and the stack inside of that one, we're gonna name it form section. So that way, if you add more sections to the main container, you can keep them organized one on top of each other. All right, so this is for the purpose of keeping things organized and easy to understand. So now that we have the form inside of these two stacks, we are going to take a look at the form and see what we have here. So this is what Framer gives you out of the box. You have a simple contact form that says name, email, location, and submit. So let's change this a little bit. But before that, let's see what we have here. So we have a form that is a special stack that you can see here. And then inside of that, we have other stacks called label. And each one of them have a, let me open one, text field that says name and an input field, and this is where the magic happens. So if you click one of those input fields, you can see on the right hand side that you have different options that you can tweak right here, and that's what we're gonna do. So I'm going to go ahead and select the first label, and if you hover over them here on the layers panel, you can see that they get selected in the canvas. So I have selected the first one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. So hit Command or Control D on your keyboard to duplicate it. Now we have to name input fields. I'm going to select the first one, and if you select the text that says name, come to the right hand side under text, you should see one that says content, and that field we're going to change it to first name. Let's repeat the operation for the second one. Click on that text field. Under content, let's call it last name. Let me change that to a capital. There you go. And now we have email. We're gonna select that email label and duplicate that, and select that second text that says email, and we're gonna change that to phone. All right, and now we're gonna select the last one that says location. I'm gonna duplicate that, and I'm gonna change this one up here to options. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fields. Okay, and if you were to click on one of them, you can see that this is an input field that is of type text, but you can change this to any of these here. Okay, and the text field will change. It will be a different type of input field. So we have first name, last name, email, we have phone number, but as you can see, the phone number placeholder says an email instead of a phone. So we're gonna select this field that is supposed to be a phone number. Come to the right hand side, under placeholder you're gonna see an email. So I'm gonna change that to a number just to simulate a phone number. So I'm just gonna go 123 space 456 space 7890, and now this simulates a phone number here. And now for the options, we can see if you click here that it says Amsterdam and Barcelona. Now that works for location because that's what we want. You know, select here and then you have different locations. But for this one that says options, if you click on it, you can see that it has these fields, and you can either click the X to eliminate them, or you can click on them and change the value here and the title. So we are going to select the first section here. We're gonna type option A. I'm gonna copy that, and then on the second one that says title, I'm gonna paste the same name. So option A, and you can see here that you got changed to option A. Click on the second one, and let's do option B. There you go. And I'm gonna just add another one for fun, and I'm gonna call this one option C. All right, and so now we have, if we test this, we have under options option A, B, and C. Okay, and then for location, we have the locations here. Feel free to add more locations if you want, but at least you get the idea of what is going on here. Now, one more thing that I want to mention is that I already added a couple of fields here, but you can select the form and you will see a plus sign here. If you were to click this, it will give you more options that you can add. A text field, a checkbox radio, and a select field. So let's say if I select text, it's gonna add another text field. Let's see, which one was it that got added? Let me try that again. Text. Okay, so it added a phone field. But if I wanted, let's say, to send a message, I would select this one right here, this field, select the input, and then I would change that from email to a text area. And now we can type in here and send a message. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to eliminate that, and I'm gonna play around with these fields right here so far. So what we're going to do now is we are going to change this a little bit, because now this looks great for a phone screen, but we are going to be dealing with a desktop for now. So in order to change that, what we can do is select, for instance, the first name and the last name labels here, select both of them, and now we're going to add a stack. So remember, right click, add a stack, or you can use the shortcut. So I added a stack, and this stack is housing the first label, which is the first name, and the second label, which is the last name. Select that stack that's housing these fields and change the distribution, the direction to horizontal. And now we have them next to each other. The problem is it's a little narrow, it's kind of small. So in order to expand them, what we're going to do is select the stack that's housing everything, in this case the form, and look here on the right hand side under width, we have a 280 pixel fixed. Let's change that number to 420 or something. Yeah, that works. Perfect. And now we have email, phone number. The email can stay like that because sometimes we have long emails. And then for the options and the location, we can do the same. So select these two labels, add a stack, and change that to horizontal direction. Now it looks a little bit better in my opinion. And again, this is just an example. You can do this however you want. Perfect. Now let's see what else we have here. Now we have if you click on the first label, you can see that, for instance, the first text that says first name, it has a particular color here. So we're gonna change that, and I already have my colors here. So the first one here is the field name. Okay, so this color, I'm gonna copy this code, and now I'm gonna come here and select every single text by holding shift, and we are going to change the color to that color that I have saved. You can do this however you want. Okay, so under colors, you can select whatever color you want. I'm gonna go ahead and select this color. Now I'm going to select the actual input field, and if you can see here, it has the placeholder has this color. We're gonna change that, so let's come here, and this is placeholder color. Select it, copy, and I'm gonna select every single input field, and right here on the right hand side, look for placeholder. And if you don't see it, like in this case, it's because there are different input fields, so it won't let you do all of them at once. So for instance, I can do this one, name, last name. You see it says placeholder here. Let's try email. Yeah, I can do that one, and I can do the phone, but I cannot select this too. So let's do this for first. Placeholder, click on it and paste or change that to whatever color you want. You can see that's the placeholder color. And now let me select the last two input fields and go to placeholder and change that as well. Perfect. Now we are going to change, let's see what we have. This would be the actual text color. So I'm gonna select that, copy that color, and now select every single field. Let's do this for it first. And I have, you see the one that says color is the actual color you will see when you start typing in the field. So I'm gonna click here, paste that new color, and let's do the same thing for these bottom ones. Color, paste. And now what else we got? Well, now we have the border. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this color, and I'm going to select every input field this time, and we're gonna come down here where it says focus. So this means when you click on a field, you're focusing on that field. So click this option that says effect, and you're gonna see an option that says border. So we're gonna click that, and from that blue we are going to change it to the new color. And again, pick whatever color works for you. I just did this to save some time ahead of recording the video. And then the last one we're going to change is this dark one, which is the button. So let me copy that color, and we're gonna double click this button, that's a component, and we're going to select this one, and this one, and we are going to change the fill to that color. Perfect. Now I suggest that you leave these other ones as they are, because they have, this is pre-made by Framer, and they have code running in the background that's gonna work wonders. So I suggest you leave it as is. You can play around with them, but I'm gonna leave them as is. Now we have this form that's looking a little bit better. So if we play this, you can see how it looks. So this is the placeholder. If I click inside and I type something like test, you see the color change, and that's how it would look. Test again, this at that.com. Well, you get the idea. That's how it would look. Now let's make this a little bit more interesting, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add a background, and we're also going to add some special effect to the actual form, and that will be on part 2 of this series. So stay tuned for part 2 on creating a form in Framer. Thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, and if you have any comments, any questions you might have, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be more than happy to help you out.